Welcome, everybody. This is your all relationships reading for February 2026, and it is also for all 12 signs. Hi, everybody. I'm Devon Doer, and if you're new here, maybe you found me through Spotify, Apple, or other podcasts. That's right. This is a brand new format. I also have right here on YouTube. It is a new podcast format, same energy overview I do every week, but we are now calling it Messages from Your Inner Circle. Your inner circle is your spiritual team, which is passed away loved ones, guardian angels, ascended masters, and more, spirit guides, spirit animals, and your higher self. And it's an opportunity to get an update on the overview of the energy coming through so you can navigate it, so that you can get these clear messages from your spiritual team, your inner circle that is always with you. So we're going to jump into all 12 signs now. And I do want to remind you, these are for all relationships, not just romantic. And I always say, please listen to all 12 signs if you can, because you have all 12 signs in your birth chart. So if something resonates with you, write it down, give your future self that gift of hindsight, even if you don't know what it means. And we will be doing bonus messages at the end so that you can get clarity to anything that resonates. So let's jump right into the Aries. All right, so we're going to jump into these all relationships, all signs reading for February 2026, getting started with the Aries. Hey, Aries, what do we have for you guys for all relationships, right? All love, all relationships in February 2026. First, we have the 9 of Air, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. Okay, is there somebody that you've been thinking about a lot that's kind of caused you to have a little stress and you're worried about the outcome? We have the 10 of Fire here, overworked, stressed, and imbalanced. We're going to pull this all together. I am using a relationship deck here for the third card. We have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. All right. Now, remember, I do read intuitively, not literally. So we are applying this to whoever is popping into your mind as you're listening to these messages. It may not be a romantic relationship or a love relationship, but we do have these engagements with people in our life. So let's get started with the 9 of Air card here. I am seeing that for some of you, you have been worrying about a particular relationship. Like I said, it could be, hey, is my boss understanding how much work I'm putting into this? Or it could be somebody that you hired and you're realizing they're not working out. Maybe you need to have a conversation with them, or you need to go in a different direction. Things that are keeping you up at night is kind of the message here that I'm getting. And anybody that you're thinking about, when you catch yourself worrying, this is kind of where the messages are going. Now listen to all 12 signs, because there may be some clarity in another sign. But who is the first person you think of when you think about expecting the worst or self-fulfilling prophecies? But we're going to get more clarification here. No worries. We have the 10 of Fire, overstressed, overworked, and imbalanced. Yeah, I do feel like maybe you've been carrying the burden in some relationship. Maybe you have been taking on the work for a colleague, or maybe there's just been too much going on at home and you need a little more support from some family members so that you can get work done for yourself. Vice versa, work's been taking you away from home and you haven't had enough time with your family members. You know what this is for you, but in February, this is an opportunity to shift that, okay? This is the reason that we do these energy forecasts. Nothing is set in stone. You have free will, but when you get a heads up about what's coming, it gives you an opportunity to say, I don't want that. Let's see if we can work with this energy. How can we navigate around this? So wherever you have Aries in your chart, I'll give you an example. Like I said in my tutorial, you can learn more here if you want to learn how to pull your birth chart for free and understand your houses. But I'm a Capricorn rising, which means my 4th house is Aries. So I would apply these messages to things around home and family and security and things like that. So I would be saying to myself, okay, what things do I need to pay attention to regarding my home and family in security, emotional security especially, and how can I secure that? How can I support it? How can I make sure I'm not overworked in that area of my life? The third card we have here is this engagement card. And again, I don't read literally. maybe you are realizing you're worrying because you're ready to get married and you're not sure if the other person is ready. Maybe you want to pop the question and you're not sure how it's going to go. Or it could be that they've popped the question and you're not sure what your answer is going to be. That could very much be the case. However, for a lot of us, it's more about the energy you're engaging in with this person. Are you having a lot of stressful conversations? Are you avoiding having a conversation? Are you just not really engaging with each other, like two ships passing in the night? Is it time to go ahead and take action to engage with each other? So again, this could simply be where you need to have a conversation with your boss about a colleague or some projects and you're avoiding it because you don't know what they're going to say. It doesn't have to be romantic. If you're retired or you're a student or a stay-at-home family member, then maybe it is something regarding family or people that you are seeing on a day-to-day basis where things need to shift. It could even be somebody who helps clean your home or regularly does work for you, that you're realizing this is not working out. Now, what I feel is going on though is you might have to actually go out and seek a new partner to help you with this overwork thing. For some of you, you are overworked because you're not willing to delegate. And this is a message I get for a lot of Aries anyways. If you missed my February all signs reading, which I did last week, check that out because that was a big message coming through for the Aries. Just remember not to charge so far ahead of your team, and your team can be your family members, your colleagues, your friends, that they don't know what your plan is. But a lot of you may just want to be doing it yourself just to get it done, and that's going to lead to feeling too overworked in your relationships. So I'm going to encourage you to lean in to letting other people support you. Go ahead and engage somebody to support you in the things you want to get done. So the easiest example would be, let's say you don't have enough time to clean your house because you're so busy with work or taking care of family. Can you hire somebody to help you clean your house, right? Engage them in that service, and that could really support you in February. Again, if it is about love, if it is about relationships, ask yourself, am I ready for this next level of engagement? Do I want to engage? If you're single, it could be, am I holding myself back from meeting that person because I'm afraid of being vulnerable? I'm afraid of the getting started. It's funny. I was just talking to a friend the other day about the hard part about dating somebody. It's like, it never really leaves you that there is always going to be that initial newness in a relationship where you have to be vulnerable and you don't exactly know what the other person is thinking. The best way to figure out what they're thinking is to engage with them, have conversations, go do things. So I felt like some of you needed to hear those messages specifically, but apply it to anybody that you really are feeling, is on your mind. And leave me a comment below. What type of relationship is this resonating with you? Is it a work relationship? Is it a neighbor? Is it a sibling even? And as always, I really appreciate it if you hit that like button, share this video, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. For those of you listening on Spotify, welcome. I am so excited. This is my first energy forecast available on all the podcast platforms. I probably should have mentioned that up front. But yes, we are available not just on YouTube now. These shows are available on Spotify, Apple, and other podcasts. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you're doing. I really appreciate that. But also just think about all the different types of relationships in your life and where could things be a little out of balance, causing you stress, and maybe just having that conversation. It could even be a conversation with your higher self, with your spiritual team, where you're sitting down and journaling and asking, how should I handle this relationship? That is engagement as well. Just not avoiding the problem, right? When you're engaged in something, you're paying attention. You're not avoiding it and pretending there isn't a problem. All right, Aries? So let me know what that is for you guys. And I hope you're having a wonderful, amazing February so far. Let's move into Taurus. Taurus, for your all relationships reading in all of February 2026. First, we have the Ace of Water, something new and exciting, falling in love, the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and a new home. Oh, that's exciting, Tauruses. Second, you have the Three of Water, another watery energy coming in for you guys. Celebration, community, friendships. Oh, I'm getting angel bumps for you guys big time regarding all your relationships or wherever you have Taurus in your chart, that area of your chart. And your relationship card is very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay. Again, I read intuitively, not literally. Some of you, this does mean a romantic partner is waiting for you to call them in. But for a lot of you, it's a new team member. Maybe it is a new animal that's coming to live with you. Maybe it is a new agent or manager or colleague or collaboration, right? This is 3 of water. There's 3 people here. You may be meeting a couple of people in February that are waiting for you to get clear on what you want so that they know that you're a good match. So starting off with this Ace of Water, I do feel like a lot of you have moved recently or you're getting ready to move, and it's just a lot of newness, a new emotion. And I know my Tauruses, I'm surrounded by Tauruses. I love you guys. I have a Taurus moon, so I totally relate. You love your creature comforts. You love your home. You love things to feel safe and beautiful and nice, right? So maybe you are in a new environment and you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel like home yet. It's going to. You know how that's going to happen? By getting out there and getting help from others. Maybe if you literally moved, you're going online and getting help from an interior designer for ideas, watching YouTube channels on fun ways to make your home feel cozy. Or you are actually starting to collaborate in work or in other things you're doing. Maybe you're meeting new friends and they're eventually going to introduce you to this romantic partner if you're the one that is actually looking for love right now. Now, when it comes to if you already are in a relationship though, and you're comfortable with where things are, for some of you Tauruses, this is about just getting out and doing things with other people. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time with just the 2 of you, and it's time to go ahead and get out there and do things with other people. And like I said, as an animal communicator, I feel a lot of animals coming in for people, soulmates coming in very soon in the next 6 months for people. So maybe you are calling in a Taurus that is going to be part of your family, or you Tauruses are realizing like that is something that would help me feel at home and secure, is having, a loved one in my life that I can come home to every day, take them for a walk or cuddle with, right? But very soon, this opportunity is coming for you, and it is in the month of February or within the next 3 months is what they're saying. So you have to know what you want, right? You can't call in everything. You'll be overwhelmed and you'll miss the one that's best for you. So again, I would encourage you to think about where you're wanting a relationship in your life. Are you looking for a new friend to do something with? Are you looking for a new coach? A lot of times when I've needed help with something that I don't know a lot about, I would ask my spiritual team to be like, help me find the best, fitness instructor to help me learn this particular type of fitness, whatever. I don't know where that went, but like, I want to learn pickleball. Where's the best place to go pickleball, right? Like just an example, because everybody seems to talk about pickleball so much, but it doesn't have to be romantic is what I'm saying. It, again, could be a relationship to a home or a neighborhood, but you're looking for this collaboration of sorts. Maybe you did just move and you're like, where's the best place to sign up for a gym? Where's the best place to start going and getting coffee and reading my book? Things like that are coming in for you as long as you know what you want and you're very clear about it. And I'm really excited for this, Taurus, because this is very different. Or wherever you have Taurus in your house, in your signs, I think it's important to keep in mind that there are new things coming in for you. It could be that an existing relationship is going to a new level, or you're getting out there and doing things with that person or that thing that's different, right? I just had an image of somebody who has a dog and they're learning to do a certain sport with that dog, right? They're getting out there. So that could be you. Let me know in the comments, what type of relationship are you looking for? This is a good exercise for all 12 signs. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want that relationship to look like? I read every single one of your comments, and I really appreciate it when you like and share these episodes. It really helps my channel grow. And Tauruses, I'm excited to see what's coming in for you. I think it's going to be a really beautiful month for new emotions, new relationships, new security in the areas of all your relationships. So let me know what's going on for you. Definitely share and like this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And let's move on and see what's going on for the Geminis in all relationships in February, right? So again, this could be friends from the past coming back. We do have a Mercury retrograde starting at the end of February that tends to bring people from our past back. All right, Geminis, here's what we have for you for all relationships in February. We have the 6 of Air. Things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. This is definitely moving on to calmer shores in the area of your relationships. Let's see what your second card is here. Page of Fire, creative, enthusiastic, motivated, something new and exciting regarding relationships. And then we have the forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in the present moments. All right, so we're going to pull all this together. This is not just about love, but I am getting, for a lot of you, it is about love. It is about leaving behind an old love. And again, it may not be romantic love, but maybe you've learned you've had to move away from a group of people you used to love hanging out with, and now you're realizing they don't match your vibration anymore. Maybe you are actually ending a relationship, or you recently ended one and you're like, that was so hard, that was so painful, but things are not as chaotic anymore. And that is something that happens a lot as we stay in relationships, whether it's friendship, romantic, work relationships, because it's scary to go through the process of ending it. But a lot of times what follows is that calmer shore, and you realize, why did I stay in that chaos? Well, a lot of times we stayed in that chaos because it was familiar, because it was comfortable to know the chaos was there than to not know what the future holds. Think about that for a minute with any of your relationships, because that is very true. A lot of times we will stay in a relationship, friendship, or partnership just because the unknown seems scarier than having to deal with that chaos. But what I see here, and it's so exciting with this Page of Fire, is you do have something new and exciting coming in for you regarding your relationships. There's somebody waiting to either be your new romantic partner, your new best friend, your new boss, your new collaborative partner, maybe your new touring buddy. Maybe you're about to meet somebody who wants to travel with you and go to different experiences with you. So this is really exciting. I think you're going to realize as you're meeting these new people and you're reflecting on these past relationships, that the more you learn from why you stayed in that relationship for as long as you did, or how you got into that relationship in the first place, the more you're able to forgive not only them, but yourself. So I see a lot of forgiveness for Geminis coming in, and it's more about forgiving yourself for staying in a situation that wasn't healthy for you because you were a little bit afraid of what the chaos the end of chaos might bring, right? Sometimes people really are used to that chaotic energy, the drama. I've seen people, with this type of work I do, they seem to almost be addicted to the drama. They enjoy the drama. And really, if they ever get on the other side of that, they kind of realize, like, that was so exhausting and draining. Why did I stay in that for so long? Now, again, this may not be an actual person. This could be something to do with a creative project that's just constantly jerking your chain and making you feel like you're not in balance. It could also be where you're really bored with something you're doing and you need to leave it behind. I know for me, I put off a very long time leaving my accounting business and small business consulting behind because it was steady, it was easy, I knew what to do, but I wanted to go full time into this intuitive work, and it took a while for me to really realize I had to make the leap and go do it completely differently than the way I've been doing things. And I was able to use what I learned from the past, but I do see, reflecting back on jobs I stayed in, client relationships I stayed in, even vendor relationships I had, where it's like I stayed in that too long. Okay, that didn't serve me well. What can I learn from that so I can do it differently going forward? That's why I want you to think of all relationships, anything that's coming into your mind, and wherever you have Gemini in your chart, because you may not have any major planets there, or you may not feel like it's specifically, because it's not your sun, moon, or rising, it's doesn't apply to you, but actually very much can. So I want you to be thinking about those things, Geminis. Let me know in the comments below, are you looking for new relationships? Are you looking to shift things? And what are you learning from your past relationships? That's a good thing for all 12 signs. I read every single one of your comments. I really appreciate you liking and sharing these episodes. And yeah, let's move on and tell me what you guys are moving away from that's been chaos for you guys in February, Geminis. All right, now we're moving on to the Cancers. Cancers, for all relationships in February, let's see what your first card is. This is your Two of Water. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. This is often a card of romance. So this could be involving your romantic partner is going to a new level, or you're meeting somebody new that becomes a romantic partner. But of course, it can apply to anything that is a relationship in your life, relationships to your creative projects, relationships to your home and family. Your second card here is the High Priestess, which is intuition, wisdom, and patience. A lot of downloads available to you regarding your relationships, Cancer. So let's really sit in that energy in February and make sure we are seeing things from that higher perspective. We're being very patient. And remember, you can call in your spiritual team for that extra wisdom there. And your romance card, before we pull it all together, is the Make the Effort card. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Look at that. All right, Cancers. So for some of you, this really is about a romantic relationship. Maybe it's one you're already in. Maybe it's one that you're not sure where it's headed. Or maybe you're finally ready to make that leap and get out there and meet somebody. So a lot of you, it is that, and you're going to want to really listen to your intuition. You're going to want to ask yourself where you have compromised in the past when it comes to your relationships, and what are you willing to compromise in the future. Relationships do require compromise, but compromising is not settling, okay? And that's where I see a lot of people get mixed up, especially Cancers, because they're always wanting to be there for everybody else and nurture everybody else. But they don't realize a lot of times they're settling for an unhealthy reciprocation of energy. So for those of you in anybody who's starting a new relationship, you're going to be looking for that reciprocity, making sure that the other person is leaning into the relationship the same way you are. Now, for those of you who are not looking for romantic partners, or you're not looking for love, this still does involve some type of new friendship. Maybe it is that you are ready to call in a new animal family member, but you've been afraid because you've, had heartbreak in the past. You've got to get out there and go meet your soulmates. So I am seeing a lot of Cancers needing to follow their intuition in the month of February. Maybe all of a sudden you just have this desire to stop in at the local farmers market, and there at the farmers market there's a basket of kittens needing homes to be adopted, right? And now you've got there's your new soulmate right there. Or it could be the same way with a friendship or a partner, where you just suddenly decide to take up a friend on an invitation to go to a concert or get coffee, and while you're there you meet a new friend or partner. So really listen to your intuition, but also be very clear, Cancers, about what are the things in the past where you've been willing to settle and you're not settling anymore? And what are the things you're willing to compromise, and are you sure that that's not settling? I want you to listen to your intuition, and this means listening to your body as well. How do you feel in your body when you think about the compromise you're willing to make? Maybe it isn't quite the compromise you thought. Maybe it's more settling, right? A compromise is where both people are giving energy to a situation and figuring out a way to make it work where it's a win-win. And I actually really like the idea of win-win-win scenarios for the collective, where it's not just you and the other person winning, but the collective wins as well, because it's raising the vibration, right? So wherever you have Cancer in your chart, you guys let me know. Are you looking for a new relationship? Do you feel like you've had to settle in the past? What are you willing to make the effort for in February? I read every one of your comments. Thank you for the likes and shares. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I really hope that you follow your intuition in February, Cancers, because I think you're going to realize you're going to get some exciting surprises. All right. Moving on to lovely Leos. Hey, Leos. Boy, we kicked off February with that full moon in your sign, but we're all being affected by this the entire month. So definitely pay attention to what's coming up for you for endings and releases. Your first card for all relationships, Leo, is the Moon card. I'm sorry. I just love it when this stuff is so perfect. Here I am talking about your full moon, and then you get the moon card. It says important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears holding you back. And absolutely, that is what that full moon is wanting you to do. Release any fears. This is for all 12 signs. Release any fears holding you back from doing the creative, passionate things you want. But we're going to pull this all together. This is for all relationships, not just love. Oh my goodness. Your next card is the transformation card, realization, life change, and liberation. Well, it was a full moon in your sign or wherever you have Leo in your chart, and this would be considered the Tower card if this was a tarot deck. This is actually an angel deck, but powerful life changes coming in for you regarding relationships. All relationships, not just love. So let's see what your romance card is saying here, or the relationships deck card is saying. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Oh my gosh, I love this so much for Leos or wherever you have Leo in your chart. Please pay attention to the things that you're ready to release, that you're ready to complete, starting from February 1st with that powerful full moon in Leo, okay? That's what I'm saying. It affects all 12 signs, but things are coming to an end regarding relationships, and sometimes it's not the relationship itself that's ending. It's the way you participate in that relationship. It's the way you respond. It's the way that you reciprocate, right? And so maybe in the past, you have a certain relationship where every time this person did something, it really triggered you. It really got you upset. It made you respond a certain way that wasn't in the relationship's highest interest or either one of you's highest interest. And you're saying, I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. Here are my tools. Here are the things I'm going to do when I start to feel that way again. With this transformation card, I do see that for a lot of you, you're transforming existing relationships. And you are realizing that there were things from your past that were causing issues in the current relationship that weren't quite fair, that maybe you were bringing things from the past and projecting it onto a friend, a boss, a colleague, a romantic partner. You'll know what this is for you. But I am seeing for some Leos, you literally are going to be transforming your relationship. So maybe you're going from single to in a relationship, like committed relationship. You're going from a committed relationship to getting married. But I want to see you guys really flirting with the idea of something exciting, fun, and new. Get out there, show the world all that creativity you have to share with the world. You know, wherever you have Leo in your chart is a huge area for your passions and your creativity and things you love. But also you Leos, you show us how to really do the things you love. You go for what you love and you set the example for the rest of us. So flirt with the idea. Have you always dreamed of having a YouTube channel or a podcast? Have you always dreamed of going on vacation to a certain place or living there temporarily while you wrote a book? Flirt with that idea. Have a different shift in the way you view your relationship to the world, right? This is actually not just people, but I do think for a lot of you, you're realizing you're moving away from an old way of being in relationships. Maybe you're ending a relationship to a group of people, to a way of interacting with the outer world. And this is really going to transform everything that you see around you. In fact, I think you're not really going to recognize a lot of your relationships by the time we get to your new moon, in August, Leos, because there's going to be this powerful transformation that's happening for you, bringing certain relationship cycles to an end so that you can flirt with these new relationships or new ways of being in relationships going forward. So what is that for you, Leos? Let me know in the comments. I want to know, are you looking for love? Are you looking for a new business partner or a new place to live or just a new way of going through your day-to-day life? See, that's another thing is our relationship to our daily routine can shift with these energies. So let me know in the comments. I read every single one. I really appreciate you liking and sharing this. And definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'd love to hear, what are you wanting to transform? Maybe now's a good time for me to remind you that I do have a free 44-day transformation journey for anything you want to transform in your life, not just relationships, linked below. If you want to check that out, it is a message that comes into your inbox is related to the numerology of the transformation. I explain the numerology, and then I give you a message from your spiritual team. So check that out if you're looking to transform anything in your life. And let's move on to the Virgos. All right, Virgos, what do we have for all relationships for you in February 2026? We have King of Fire. That's exciting. Very intuitive and passionate. It says motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. Focus, 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 communicate with vision, be a leader, advice from someone creative. Yeah, you might be attracting a fire sign into your life, Virgos, which would be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, right? We do have Saturn and Neptune moving in. Well, Neptune's already in Aries. Saturn's moving in there on the 13th of February, if you're listening to this before then. And so, yeah, I think a lot of us are going to see a lot of fire signs. It's going to be activating the fire signs in our chart, our own personal chart. But we may be finding that we're interacting with other fire signs, especially you, Virgos. Let's see what this second card is. King of Air, 2 kings. Wow. Knowledgeable, objective, and respected. So yeah, a lot of communication, a lot of sharing your vision, Virgos. I love this. And your relationship card is worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Right? So, of course, I'm not reading literally, I'm reading intuitively. So if you're not looking for love or you're already in a loving romantic relationship, so that's not on your mind right now, there is this opportunity to get really excited about the work you're doing, about your daily routines, about things that you're communicating on a regular basis. And I do see a lot of you wanting to release some things into the world, and you're very excited about these things. And for some of you, it literally is you need a mentor or a coach, or you need the right, design firm or social media expert to help you. And there's a wait list. It's going to take a minute for you to get the help you need. But if you communicate what you're looking for, they are coming in. And so I am literally seeing some of you are like, I want to move forward with this project, or I want to go ahead and move to a new location. But the place, that you have your eye on to move, there's no availability. Like maybe you're wanting to move to a certain, condominium or apartment, and you have to wait a month or two to be able to move in. Or you're ready to go ahead and move out of the location you're in, but it's just not the right time to sell your house or move, but it's worth the wait. So you've got to start telling your spiritual team, telling your higher self you're ready for these changes, but also be willing to wait for the right moment, because divine timing is at play. Now, I do want you to pay attention to the fire signs that are currently in your life. This is again Leos, Sagittariuses, and Aries. I would also like for you to pay attention to your own chart and where you have those signs, and think about what gets you really creative, feeling creative and excited and ready to tap in to that creative flow. You're so creative, Virgos, and you have like a really huge ability that a lot of other people don't have to see the big picture and the details at the same time. So if you could communicate your vision with clarity this month, I think you're going to find these people showing up to help you. You know what I mean? It's simply just putting it out there. Like, I really wish I had a friend to help me start this project, or I really wish I could find the right business partner to support the growth of my, dream, whatever it is, right? Dream business and things like that. If you're retired, it's like finding that group of people that you're so excited to go on trips with or go plan and do things with. These people are coming for you, and you're going to be waiting for the right time to release these things. You're going to be waiting for the right relationships to come in, but you do have to say what you want. So I am actually getting a lot of the similar vibes that I was getting for Taurus, your fellow earth sign there, about make sure you're clear about what you want in your relationships so that when the opportunity comes, you know it's for you. So let me know, Virgos, what are you working on? Are you looking for any type of new relationship, maybe a new friend, maybe a new job where you have new coworkers? Maybe you are looking for a collaboration or for somebody to support you with your creative work. And like I said, if you're retired, this could be a new animal family member. It could be a new group of people you're traveling with and doing, fun activities with. So let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I really appreciate you liking and sharing this and hitting that subscribe button. And, I really want to see what you're working on in February, especially regarding relationships, because again, people do see you as being able to see the big picture and the details at the same time. So we really need your energy for that, Virgos. Keep up the amazing work and let me know what's going on for you guys. All right. Now we've got Libras. Libras, what do we have for you for all relationships, not just love, in February? We have the Knight of Fire, Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Yes, this can be quite an impulsive energy here. Let's see. We have the Wise Counselor card for you guys. Belonging, learning, and traditions. Yep, you might be seeking some counseling regarding a relationship. Let's see what we got for the relationship card here. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. All right, so yes, the deck I'm using for the relationships is considered kind of a romantic deck, but I'm reading intuitively, not literally. So when I see this Release Your Ex card, I do think for some of you, it is something around an ex relationship that you had that's affecting your current relationship. But it could also be in something regarding work or your home where it didn't really go the way you wanted. Maybe you hired a contractor to help you with something and they let you down. So there is something around needing to let that go and go ahead and move forward with something you want. This Knight of Fire is charging ahead with the things they want. They're going for the exciting, passionate things that they want to see in their life. Just make sure you're taking time to think things through. Like I said, this can be a very impulsive energy as well. And in the month of February, with Mercury moving into shadow and eventually retrograde at the end of the month, definitely not a time to just jump into a huge purchase or huge commitment. Maybe you get a job opportunity that sounds really exciting and you are leaping at the chance to take it, and you haven't really thought about the amount of time and energy or the move it might require for you to take that. So this Wise Counselor card is coming at the perfect time to let you know that maybe a new relationship coming into your life literally is a mentor. Maybe you're getting a counselor to help you, a career counselor, an emotional counselor, anybody who can help you. But this could also be a trusted friend or family member that has been through what you've been through. I like to remind everybody too that there's so much great advice online that you can find. Now you have to listen to your intuition, but if you can find somebody who's been through what you've been through and just listen and use your intuition to see if it feels right, that's another great way to get this wise counsel. So I've done that for so many things with my YouTube channel, with other creative projects I'm doing, with my own health, where I will go find somebody who has been through something similar to what I'm going through, and I will just listen and observe. And if what they're saying feels right for me, I can feel it in my body. And I think that that's coming through for all of you. Now, like I said, Release Your Ex could literally be you're still angry about something from an ex relationship, but it is time to let go of that, Libras. We really need to bring things back into balance when it comes to how we view the future of our relationships. So if you're going into a new business partnership, a new friendship, a new romantic relationship, carrying these things from the past where you're just like, I can't believe that person did that to me. I can't believe I let that happen. This person better not do that. That's not going to support you in moving ahead. You'd be better off getting a third party as a counselor to help you work through those emotions. And that's why, counselors can be so helpful, getting somebody that you can talk to on a regular basis to help you work through those things so they're not affecting your future relationships in a negative way. So I really like that for the Libras. I think it really is going to take a little inner work for you guys, but let me know what's popping into your mind when you think about relationships where there's a lot of excitement and passion, but maybe something from your past is keeping you from really going for it. And yes, on the one hand, you want to jump in both feet in the deep end and whatever this new relationship or thing is, But there's a part of you that's like, but what if it happens again like it did in the past? And that's where you get that wise counsel. Some of the wise counsel is coming from your higher self. So pay attention to your dreams, do a lot of journaling. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. I read every single one of your comments, and I'd like to know what's popping in for you regarding relationships for February. Thanks, as always, for liking and sharing this. It really helps me out. And definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Just remember, you do have your own spiritual team available, and you do have people that can come into your life as that wise counsel. So maybe you are seeking a therapist or something, and maybe you haven't had the greatest relationships with therapists in the past or experiences. So you're asking your spiritual team to match you with the one that's in your highest interest. And that could be who's coming in here for you. So that's really exciting, Libras. Let me know what's going on for you. And let's move on to the Scorpios for February. So Scorpios, for your all relationships reading for February, we have the Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging in a new area of study. Yeah, I know a lot of my Scorpios have been wanting to shift what they're focusing on right now. It's not something that's really matching their energy. You're wanting to use your skills differently. You're wanting to advance them. But let's pull all this together. Your next card is the Five of Earth. So lack, worry, and assistance. And this is always a card of focusing too much on material things and not remembering that you do have this spiritual help. If you go higher with your thoughts, if you go higher with your vibration, you can get the help you need to move out of anything that's keeping you stuck or making you feel bored. And then your relationship card is reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. I love this because, especially, like I said, for all 12 signs, we have Mercury going into shadow and then eventually retrograde at the end of February. And this does bring people back from our past. It can be something as simple as a little message on one of your social media platforms from an old high school friend. It could be a post that pops up on your feed and it causes you to think about people from your past. You might not actually be talking about them. I just had that happen for me recently, where something regarding my high school reunion was coming up and somebody tagged me in it. And it kind of got me going down this thought process about people from my high school that I hadn't really thought about in a long time. And it's interesting because it is that retrograde energy that causes you to review things from the past. And I do think that for some of you, maybe you are reconciling the way a relationship ended. I don't really see you getting back with an ex. And of course, there's always the exception to the rule. So if you feel like that's something you're already headed towards, you're already thinking about, this could be your opportunity for forgiveness and for reconciling with whoever this is. Maybe it's a family member, a sibling, a child, a parent, or a romantic partner. But we always want to think clearly about the things that were keeping us stuck, because you do have this Page of Earth card here. And it can be really easy to get stuck in old patterns if we're reminiscing about the past, if we're going back and we're trying to have the same relationship again. But also sometimes people come back from your past to remind you of something wonderful about yourself that you could do, right? Like you have a childhood friend come back and say, you were always so creative and thoughtful. And with this one particular skill you have, why don't you do that anymore? Well, you should start doing that again. And it gives you that aha moment, like, oh, I do miss doing that, And that could be the thing that moves you out of feeling stuck. And I do think a lot of you have been feeling stuck regarding relationship to your work, relationship to family members, relationships to how you're maybe even stuck in the middle, I see for a lot of Scorpios. And so there are ways to reconcile this feeling stuck. That's another thing I'm hearing is it's not necessarily reconciling with a person, but how do we make this work? How do I communicate to these people in my life, this isn't working for me. I tried to tell you it wasn't working. You're not listening. Let's see if we can try this again, and bring in that spiritual team help if you can. Okay. Because a lot of times we think that we know everything about a situation. And of course, there's always things going on behind the scenes that we can't see. We don't always know how other people are going to react. And with the relationship card here, it could be simply asking your spiritual team to give you a sign when it's the right time to have this reconciliation. Like maybe you did get into an argument with a boss, a spouse, a family member, and you're ready to talk it out. So you're saying to your spiritual team, give me a loud and clear sign when this other person will be receptive to reconciliation about this particular thing. So Scorpios, let me know in the comments, what is this resonating with you? Like, who in your life are you needing to have this reconciliation with? Or are you open to having this reconciliation? Sometimes as simple as saying, I am open to reconciliation brings that opportunity in. I do read every single one of your comments. I really appreciate it if you like and share this video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But ultimately, I want you to pay attention to the things, Scorpios, that are causing you to feel stuck, and how can you advance your skills and knowledge in that area so that you can get unstuck from that situation, right? Maybe you're stuck in a certain position at work because your boss doesn't know you have all these skills in another area. So you go start taking classes to advance those skills, and you mention it to your boss, and your boss goes, oh, well then you should be over there doing this in this department. So I feel like that's really a message coming through for a lot of Scorpios there, but apply it to any area of your life, not just work, because I know a lot of you are retired or you're stay-at-home moms or you're students. So you want to apply it to where in your life you're feeling stuck, in any of your relationships that are feeling stuck, especially regarding communication. All right, let me know, Scorpios. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And let's move on to Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, for your all relationships reading for February, we have 6 of Fire. Look at that. Didn't you guys get this for your February card? I don't remember off the top of my head, but let me know if you guys know. I feel like you did. Victory, good news is coming your way, public recognition, or rewards. I love this for the Sages. Yeah, you are being seen by those around you. The relationships you're in, new relationships are coming in because they're seeing how creative and passionate you are. Second card for Sagittarius, or wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, we have Ace of Fire. Yep, I said new. Opportunity, creativity, and action. Another fire sign for Fire Sagittarius. This is amazing for you guys. New opportunities, new creative projects, new relationships. And your relationship card is, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. All right, let's pull this together for the Sages, or wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart. Getting started with the 6 of Fire. You're ready to be seen. Okay, Sagittarius, you're ready to be seen for something new, for something exciting. You're ready to do something different. This has been going on for you guys for the last couple of years. A lot of you have been moving into new jobs. You've been trying to move away from old relationships. This is a relationship reading here. I think you're going to get started with something new, and there's going to be an opportunity to take action in a relationship in February. Maybe you're somebody that's been wanting to take a relationship to the next level, like go from being in a relationship to being engaged, from being engaged to being married, or you are ready to go ahead and take that leap and start a new business, leave behind the steady paycheck. You'll know what this is for you. Of course, I'm not advising you to go out and quit your job, but you're seeing there's an opportunity there to get started with that in your relationship to your daily work. Now, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to the giving and receiving energy. Yes, I do think it's important that you're making sure you're allowing yourself to receive energy in return. I feel like a lot of you have been going, doing for everybody else, getting things done, and you're not allowing others to reciprocate that energy. That was a big message I was getting for you guys for the February overall energy reading I did last week. You can definitely check that out on my YouTube channel. But this is to clarify that as well with your relationships. We want to make sure there's reciprocity. So I think that's really exciting to say that it is safe for you to love, because I feel like in the past, maybe you have not gotten that love in return. And maybe you are starting to see that you're getting that love in return, but it's almost like, is this too good to be true? You're having to convince yourself it's safe. It's safe for me to trust that this is real. And it doesn't have to be romantic. Like I said, this is regarding anything you're doing. So I feel like for some of you, it's like collaborations, it's new things you want to do with creative projects. For those of you who are students or retired or stay at home, it's a new way of interacting with your daily activity. Maybe you're joining a new club so you can start doing a new activity, but you are being seen in your relationships, Sagittarius. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What is something new you're excited to start, especially regarding relationships? Are you willing to try a new relationship to your activity during the day? How do you get your workout routine done? How do you engage in hobbies and things like that? Are you ready to start a new relationship to that realm? And I think a lot of it is creativity for Sagittarius, really and truly. It's like, I've always enjoyed painting, but I've never really gotten serious about it. So now you're like, I'm going to be serious about my painting. I'm going to schedule time for it every day, that kind of thing. And then kind of that, is it safe to love? It's like, love yourself as well. Love yourself enough to create that time and space to do this new thing you want to do. And I think you're going to realize that a lot of people are recognizing this in you, and they've been trying to encourage you anyways. And now you're finally saying, fine, if everyone's telling me I'm good at this, or they're telling me that I should do this, maybe I should try it. Just give it a try. It's safe for you to try. Okay. And that's what they're saying here with these messages. So let me know what's popping in for you. What type of relationship, Sagittarius, do you think this message is talking about for you? Because I know it's not just about romance. It's not just about humans. It could be a relationship to a pet, a relationship to a home, or a creative project. And as always, I really appreciate it if you'd hit that like and share button, hit that subscribe button. And I do read every one of your comments. But Sagittarius, I am so excited to see this "It is safe for you to love" card. So whatever pops into your mind about being afraid that you wouldn't get something in return, you're being encouraged to go ahead and get started. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here, Sagittarius. We are going to do bonus messages at the end like we always do. I forgot to mention that up front as well. All right, Capricorns. Capricorns, for your all relationships reading in February 2026, we have the Page of Water. The Page of Water. Exciting, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. A new person is entering your life, so a new relationship. A relationship enters a new phase, heightened psychic abilities. So yeah, you could be a new person, or it could be somebody who is an acquaintance becomes a friend or a romantic partner or a colleague, right? Let's see what else is coming up for Capricorns. 8 of Earth, education, focus, and details. Education, focus, and details. Yes, I do think you're taking your skills to a new level. You're working hard. You're honing the things you're already doing. You're getting better and better at it. And let's see what your relationship card is before we bring all this together. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. All right. So again, Capricorns, we're reading intuitively, not literally here. You may not be looking for a romantic partner, or you already have one. So you're like, I'm good there. What other relationship are we talking about? I really feel like when we see that type of energy, we're talking about the romance of daily life, the thing that gets you excited to get out of bed every day. What is that for you? I think for a lot of Capricorns, maybe you've had some things that haven't quite worked out the way you wanted to, especially over the last 4 to 5 years, things you've started and they've stopped or they've stalled and it felt like they weren't getting off the ground. This could be with a relationship, or it could be a relationship to your work. But the way that you take that to the next level is keep going with the things that you're excited to study, right? Things that you're excited to learn about, keep going. That's going to help you take these relationships to the next level. And I do feel like the new love card is not just talking about other people, like new relationships coming in, but you're going to find a new love for the things you want to do, a new love for your daily routine, a new love for the things you spend your time doing, especially when it comes to your free time, Capricorns. I think that maybe you've been feeling a little bored lately, or you felt a little stalled out. Some of you have had to walk away from relationships or walk away from projects and things like that. And it's kind of left you feeling a little, just meh is what's coming to my mind here. But you're going to find this new passion and new love for your day-to-day life. And you're going to be excited to get out of bed in the morning. And you're going to be excited to keep working on your skills. And I just think that you're going to realize a lot of the stuff you already are good at, you're now going to be using in a different way. And that's going to really shift all your relationships, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your work, and the people in your life. So I think this is really exciting, Capricorns. What are some things that you've been learning? I'd love to hear in the comments. Have you been taking any classes? Have you been wanting to sign up for any classes, or have you just been learning a new skill? Is there something you're going to keep doing? Because I think it's going to guide you to some exciting new things, Capricorn, and you're going to have a new relationship to that work and the things that you're doing. Things that maybe you took for granted are just going to be your favorite thing now. So I'm getting so excited for all you guys. I'd love to hear in the comments what that is for you, but also, are there any relationships that are, starting for you? Come back and let me know at the end of February you have new people in your life. So not just romantic, right? But I do read every single one of your comments. Thank you for liking and sharing this video. It really helps my channel grow. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and keep an eye out for this new love that's coming in for you, Capricorns. I think you're going to be looking back at February going, wow, I didn't even know that was going to feel so good to learn that new skill, to try that new thing, or take that relationship to the next level. All right, Capricorns, we're moving on. Thank you so much for being here. We will do bonus messages soon. And we have the Aquas. Happy birthday season, Aquarius. As we move in to February, we are still in your birthday season. And for your all relationships reading, we start off with the 10 of Fire. Too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. Yes, I have been seeing this energy coming up for Aquas, where they're needing to reprioritize things, especially regarding relationships, where maybe they've been putting too much into a relationship and they have not been getting that type of return, that the energy they're putting in is not being reciprocated, right? And it's not always going to be that way, right? Like, it's not always going to be perfectly reciprocated, but are you at least seeing some sign that the other person or the other thing that you're in relationship to, whether it's a project or, something you're doing for your health, are you actually seeing some sign that that's being returned? Because I did get this, again, go check out the February messages I did last week on my YouTube channel, a lot around being overworked and needing to move away from that. All right, let's see what your second card is. We have the 2 of Fire, more fire energy here for Aquas, planning, partnering in progress. Yeah, and this is your all relationships reading. I think you're going to realize you're ready to do something different when it comes to another person in your life. Maybe you're two friends taking your friendship to a business partnership. Maybe you're two, although I did just hear my dad's advice about be careful not to mix business and friendship. So maybe somebody needed to hear that. I don't know why that popped in so loudly. But it could be that, like, you're going into business with your romantic partner, like you're married and the two of you are starting a business. But I do think that there's a lot of planning that needs to be done here, Aquas. And maybe you are choosing to get married, and that's what's taking a lot of planning, or you both haven't had enough time for each other because you've been overworked. So you're going to sit down, you're going to go over your calendar for the next few months, and you're going to schedule time away together, schedule time on a daily basis together, things like that. I do see you really needing to make time for a partner. This could be a romantic partner for a lot of you. I know I said this is not just about romantic partnerships, but I do feel a lot of Aquas need to have a heart-to-heart with their partner and say, hey, how do we plan our future together in a way where we're not overworked? Either your work's pulling you away from the relationship, or the stress of the relationship is affecting your work, vice versa, right? And let's see what your relationship card is here. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Aw, I love that. Okay, so we're not doing literal reading here for the cards. We're doing intuitive, but since I am feeling for a lot of Aquas, this actually does involve a romantic partner. That could be what's going on, is maybe you've been afraid of being vulnerable and sharing with your romantic partner how you're feeling. Maybe there is somebody that you would like to make a romantic partner, and it's time to go ahead and ask that person out. Maybe you're ready to pop the question. Maybe you're realizing, hey, I don't feel like my partner is seeing me right now. They're working so hard, or I've been working so hard that we haven't been communicating. So you're planning a romantic getaway or a romantic date night so that you have that time time? Or can you start scheduling an activity that you both do together every day that just builds in that time? Like maybe when you're both home from work at the end of the day, you go for a walk, a 10-minute walk, and talk to each other or play a game, something where you get to engage with each other. It's built in, and it's something that is just for the two of you. Let the kids go do something else for a little while so you can have a little time to decompress and talk about your day. I think this is going to be really valuable for the Aquas to remember to really express your love. And I don't know if I'm more of an intuitive reader, right? But I am an astrologer, and I know that a lot of times Aquas get a bad rap for being kind of distant and kind of cold, and a lot of times they get accused of bailing on people, so to speak, because they're like right there for you and then they're gone, right? I guess I just see that differently. I think what you guys do is you go where the energy is needed, right? So you're like, work needs me, I'm over here at work. My partner needs me, I'm right here for my partner. But now I need to go back to work. And then the partner's going, wait, you just said you were here for me. So I think if you express how much you love them and you want them in your life, and then you say, hey, how do we make this work for both of us? It's going to really help. Now, I can hear you Aquas out there saying, I'm not looking for love. I'm already in that relationship. We're not talking about that now. Or, you're like, I'm not looking for that. This does have to do for a lot of you with your creativity, right? There is something that you're wanting to create, that you're wanting to focus on, and you're getting pulled away by other things. You've got other people's burdens you're carrying around, and you're not able to work on your project, right? For some of you, the two people in this card represent you and your higher self, or you and your creative project, or you and your spiritual team needing to really focus on where you want to go. And you need to share this with the world. That's part of expressing your love. So like I said, for those of you who are not looking for romance, expressing your love is sharing your gifts with the world. And we were all born with natural gifts, and we all express them in different ways. And if you're not being able to share that with the world, if you're not able to partner with your creativity and express it, then it's going to lead to this feeling overworked. So what comes to mind for you, Aquas? Is this involving romance? Let me know in the comments. Or is it involving some type of thing that you're wanting to get excited about, that you're passionate about, and you have too many other things burdening you? Maybe there are other people's burdens that they're placing on you, or you're putting it on yourself because you think you have to. And it's time to have a real heart-to-heart conversation about the things that you're carrying that you can just put down. Go ahead and put down those burdens so that you can express your love. I read every single one of your comments. I'd love to hear what's going on for you. I hope you're celebrating the entire season for your birthday. And thank you so much for liking and sharing this video, hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys being here. And I want to hear next time we chat, come in the comments and let me know, like, what are these ways that you're expressing your love in the world? A lot of times we don't realize we are not allowing ourselves to fully express our love. And I should mention too here, Aquas, that that full moon, right, was opposite you in Leo. And it's reminding you that, we don't want to go the opposite direction of the things we love just for the sake of it, just to be the opposite, right? Just to be contradictory, I guess is the way to say it. For the sake of being contradictory, you're going away from the thing you love or the person you love. Let's reassess that. Maybe we need to really express our love. All right, Aquas, let me know what's going on for you. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to get to your bonus messages as soon as we wrap up with Pisces. Hello, lovely Pisces. We're going to be moving into your birthday season very soon. So I hope you're planning to celebrate all season as well. And let's see what your first card is for all your relationships in February 2026. You have the World card. Did you guys get this for the February reading too? I feel like you did. Yes, you did. I think it was even the first card. A job well done. Joy, contentment, and gratitude, the path toward enlightenment. Yep, you guys are really showing up in the world in a big way. Neptune has left your sign for good for a very long time. Saturn will be leaving on the 13th of February. And it's like, Okay, what's left here, Pisces? What are you bringing to the world? You're bringing a lot of things to the world, and Saturn has been the taskmaster for you guys. Let's see what the second card is. Nine of Earth. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to have to go look. I could swear this was also the second card you got. Unless I'm thinking about Virgos, your opposite sign. But anyways, I'm going to have to go back, or let me know in the comments if you watched my video on my YouTube channel for the February messages, which going forward will be available on all the Spotify, Apple, and other podcast platforms. That was up before I released the new podcast. But I do think you guys got this card. So I'm going to have to go look, because that's wild. I mean, I shuffle the heck out of these decks before I sit down to read. But contentment, luxury, and independence is what I'm getting for Nine of Earth. So yeah, this is something you're seeking, enjoying the romance of everyday life. And then your relationship card is unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. All right, well, let's pull all this together before you freak out and think that a relationship's about to end. What I'm actually getting for a lot of you is you are the one saying, I'm not getting enough out of this project I'm working on, this daily activity I'm doing, this goal I've set for myself is not exciting anymore. That's what I'm getting for Pisces. So if you were having a panic moment there that it's regarding a friendship or a romantic partner or anything like that, you know your life and you know the best. Listen to your intuition. But I think for most of you, no, it's not regarding a person. It's like you're saying to yourself, for my entire life, all I've ever wanted to do was own a beach house. And then now over the last couple of years, especially after Saturn moved through your sign, you're like, I don't really know that's how I want to spend my money and time. Like, I don't really want to deal with hurricanes coming through and the upkeep and the maintenance and the taxes and the insurance, right? You're like, it's just not that exciting. Like, I'll just rent one when I want one, right? I don't know why that example came to me, but it feels like for some of you, you're deciding you don't have the love you once had for something. You'd rather have the peace and security than be in a position where you're stressed about something like that. So for some of you, it could literally be like a financial thing where you're realizing you've spent a lot of money on a hobby, or like I said, a home or a car or a vacation that you've always done this, or you've always wanted it. And now you're like, it just isn't worth it to me anymore. I used to think that would be the be all to end all. Am I saying that right? But you're out in the world in a bigger way. And now that you see the world differently, you're going, that's just not that important to me anymore. You know what I mean? And maybe it's something else that's important to you. But I feel like for a lot of Pisces, when it comes to all your relationships, what's important is that you have that peace in the relationship, that you have that internal peace. You feel content. You feel like you can have your independence within a relationship. And I know Pisces, a lot of times you guys would rather stay home than go out and be in a group of people. Not all of you, of course, but it is kind of like a lot of times you've given up being in a relationship so that you could have that quiet time alone. And now you're realizing, well, maybe there is a compromise. Maybe I can be in a relationship and still have my autonomy, still have my independence. And of course you can. Of course you can, Pisces. So this doesn't have to be romantic, but you're thinking to yourself, like, I could really use a partner on this project. I want to collaborate, but that means we're going to have to meet twice a week for the next 6 months. And I don't really want to give my time up for that and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, well, why don't I want to give up my time? Well, because that's usually when I watch my favorite movie, or I, hang out on the couch or whatever I do. And you're like, yeah, I don't even really want to do that anymore. I'd rather work on this project. So you're willing to give up that time. Okay. I know that was kind of a very broad example. And for those of you who are retired or students or stay-at-home moms, you apply it where you are. But the main message here, Pisces, is you see the world differently. So therefore your relationship to all things are different. And that's in February. So you may already be feeling that right now. But you're basically asking yourself, is this worth it? If it's not, you're ending the relationship to that thing. Maybe it's your relationship to a TV service or to a cell phone provider, right? I mean, sometimes it can be that literal. and that mundane. But I just think, again, you're seeing things so differently now after Neptune and Saturn have been in your sign for so long, that you're like, the things that were once so valuable to me that I just thought I just really had to go for, it doesn't bring me peace anymore. I'd rather not have that and feel contentment and peace with this 9 of Earth card. So I think that's a pretty no-brainer there. Anything that's not making you, it's unrequited love, right? Let's look at that relationship, because I really don't feel for most Pisces it's a person. I think it's a relationship to something. So let me know in the comments, is it a person for you? Is it a relationship to your home, to your daily routine, to a creative project? And I love reading all your comments. I read every single one. Thank you so much for liking and sharing this video and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't. We're going to get to your bonus messages, but I just want to remind you one more time, Pisces, please remember that you are viewing the world very differently than you did in 2012 when Neptune went into Pisces, your sign, okay? Or wherever you have Pisces in your chart. I want all of us to think about that. In 2012, what did you view differently than you do now? All of us are different than we were in 2012, right? All of us are different than we were when Saturn moved into Pisces a couple years ago. When was that? Was that 2022? Yeah, I think it was. Let me know in the comments. But let's get your bonus messages, Pisces. Thank you so much for being here. And I do read every single one of your comments. Thank you so much. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but these episodes are now available not only right here on YouTube, but on Spotify, Apple, and other podcast platforms. So please check those out if that resonates with you. It's really excited. The name of the new podcast is Messages from Your Inner Circle. It's the same idea where I have 4 introductory episodes telling you my philosophy if you're new to me, but then we go into these energy overviews, different topics, and we do all 12 signs, and I give you an opportunity to navigate the energies coming up with guidance from your inner circle. And your inner circle are your spiritual team members, which are your guardian angels, passed away loved ones, ascended masters, your higher self, and more. Spirit guides, spirit animals, they're all there. So I really appreciate you being here. If you did find me on Spotify, Apple, or other podcasts, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a dream of mine to finally move my YouTube channel into a podcast format. So yes, I am in a podcast format right here on YouTube too. So you can listen to me through the YouTube Music app if you like. I don't know if you knew that the YouTube Music app has a feature where you can swipe between video and audio. So that's a really helpful feature there too. All right. Thank you for humoring me on that announcement there. It's really exciting. And welcome here if you're new. Let's go into your bonus messages. Now, when I do your bonus messages, I like for you to think of it as clarity to the all signs reading. So I invited you to listen to all 12 signs if that resonates with you. Anything that did resonate, here's some clarity for that, right? You may not have any planets or angles in a certain sign. Well, of course you have angles, but what I'm saying is you may not have anything that is, resonating with you in a particular sign, but then you listen to a message next week from the energy overview and that sign resonates with you. There could be an activation going on in that chart. There could be some type of aspect to things going on in that area of your chart. So write it down. Why not? We have that beautiful gift. Then we can go through the clarity, right? That's what this is. This is the clarification. And I'll show you how I do this because we always get actions to take. And I know a lot of you are new here, so welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you to all my returning listeners and watchers. Thank you so much for commenting and sharing and liking and subscribing. All right, so this is the present energy card here, the Sun card. This is beautiful energy, a happy outcome, beautiful new ideas. And it says, have confidence in yourself. And I think because we are sitting here talking about all relationships, in February 2026, right now, it's about seeing yourself as the sun. You are in the spotlight. You are the star of the show, and it's up to you how these relationships go. You can choose to walk away. You can choose to take them to the next level. You can choose to shift them. So trust that if you have confidence in your ability to maintain or attract the relationships you want, you will. So this is an amazing card to start off with, the present energy. This is meant to clarify anything. Just have confidence in anything that's coming up for you regarding these messages. There will be a happy outcome if you remain confident. Now, coming up in the near future, we have the Three of Air card. Now, again, I read intuitively, not literally. It says sorrow, forgiveness, and healing. And I know a lot of people think this is a negative card, but what I'm seeing for this is there's actually going to be a huge amount of healing and forgiveness for all of us regarding our relationships. So this is actually really positive. Coming up in the near future, you're going to finally be healing things around relationships. Any heartbreak you've had in the past, you're going to be offering forgiveness to yourself, to others, and you're going to be healing from them because you're having confidence in your ability to do so. And then coming up in the future, we have the Three of Earth. I love this. Talent, recognition, and collaboration. This is all about relationships, right? You're going to be bringing in new skills. You're going to be working with your spiritual team, and you are going to really be seen for all the gifts that you have in the world. This is a really great card. This is an opportunity to collaborate with someone in your life. Like I said, this isn't all relationships reading. So maybe you are getting a new business partner. Maybe you are doing something new with your romantic partner. Maybe you and your children are planning an exciting new project or trip, right? So this is really, really wonderful energy coming in. What has to happen first is this healing and forgiveness. Okay, so this is the bridge we're crossing. If you have confidence that you can have the relationships that you want, or the relationship to things that you want, and you allow the healing to occur and you allow the forgiveness to occur, you will find that you are surrounded by the material and emotional security you are desiring. And I love that for all 12 signs. So let's see what our 2 actions are to take. We're going to use the relationship cards for this. We have a separation card. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So yeah, this is again, I don't read literally, I read intuitively. This is a reminder that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that sometimes you do need to take some time to yourself to appreciate the relationships you have, right? So if you're getting burned out on a project, your relationship to that project could benefit from a break. Put it down, put it on the back burner, go do something new. That's why I'm not reading literally, I'm reading intuitively. So whatever's been on your mind, I want you to consider taking a break. Let yourself have a day off, 2 days off. Can you plan a staycation, right? And again, this could be, if it is involving a romantic partner, maybe you're just going on a little sabbatical overnight or doing a staycation just to do some extra work, spiritual work or something like that. Because I really am getting a positive energy off of this. And this is an action card. So it's telling you to take a break. It's telling you to, separate yourself from this whatever turmoil there is regarding a relationship to get clarity. So this is actually a really good thing to remind you that you can take control, have confidence in your ability to transform this energy. Then we have the trust card. This situation is calling for you to have faith. It's calling for you to have faith. So, coming after the separation card with everything going on with the healing, I think for some of you, if it is romance for you, it may just mean that you're taking a break to allow the healing, or you're taking a break from really harping on something in a relationship and you're just allowing that break to let the energy settle. And then you're trusting that it's guiding you to the relationships you really want. And this is the thing that I love about starting off with the Sun card here, is this is ultimately about you. And that's one of the things that we learn as we grow spiritually and we do a lot of the internal work, that we attract the relationships that we feel towards ourselves. So if we feel unworthy, then we tend to attract people who also are unworthy or feel unworthy too. And it can spiral. That's why they talk about, you have to love yourself first if you're going to love someone else. And I struggle with that sometimes, because I think sometimes we can be in a relationship, a friendship or romantic relationship, where you're teaching each other, right? And you're reflecting to each other the things that need to be healed. So it's not always the case that you have to go off and live by yourself on a mountain to heal. You can have someone else in your life, but you just want to be confident that you're going to have to trust the process of getting to know each other, letting things unfold. Now, of course, if you're not looking for, if you're not looking for advice around a romantic relationship or anything like that, I am seeing for a lot of you, it's literally just taking a break from something, right? Maybe you need a vacation to get a new perspective. I know for me, a lot of times if I'm feeling stuck creatively, a lot of times I'll go on a vacation that was already planned and I'll come home with a brand new outlook on something. And I wasn't even looking for the outlook. A lot of times I didn't even know I was stuck. And that's the thing, is it's about just trusting that you're in divine flow, right? So in fact, I love giving pocket affirmations. So if you're new here, my all-time favorite pocket affirmation is I am in divine flow. If you want to leave that in the comments below, I'd love to read it. I am in divine flow is a great affirmation for the energy of February, for trusting the process. So just remember, this separation card is reminding you it could be 15 minutes of walking away from something and getting a break, or taking a nap, or just changing up your schedule a little bit so that you can get that new perspective, and trusting the process, right? Everything is happening for you, not to you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to all my listeners on Spotify, Apple, and other podcast platforms. As always, I'm right here on YouTube and the YouTube Music app as a podcast now. It's been an absolute honor to connect with you all this way, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.